Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today before jumping in the video, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor over at Athletic Greens. If you guys are not familiar, Athletic Greens is an easy, convenient way to supplement daily nutrition, all in an AG1 shake. If you guys want to take a closer look on what's inside, I mean, I'd be curious if it was me, personally. We got some vitamin C, we have some vitamin B12, we have biotin, we have vitamin A, we have zinc, copper, magnesium, which a lot of people are supplementing those in pill form, and instead of a pill form, you could just take an AG1 shake every day, which is what I do, which is pretty freaking awesome. But on the right side here too, we have a bunch of awesome micronutrients. We have beetroot powder, rosehip powder, carrot root powder, spinach leaf powder, grapeseed extract, green tea extract, licorice root powder. It's incredible. Like, the list goes on and on. We have ashwagandha root extract in here, dandelion. Super cool, guys. If you want to supplement, this is the easiest way to do it. Check out the link down below. Huge shout out to Athletic Greens for sponsoring the stream. They are awesome. Definitely go give them some love, guys, and enjoy the rest of today's video. Guys, public service announcement. If you didn't know, you can turn with your right click. Wait, hold on. Do you guys really not know that? Man, there's so many basic things that I feel like I should make a guide on. Like, what was another one that someone asked the other day? Oh, I didn't know this. Some of you guys are gonna laugh, and some of you guys will probably also not know. Shadow Strike can't miss when someone has evasion up. So if I'm dancing and a rogue pops evasion, I can Shadow Strike through evasion. Did you guys know that? It doesn't say it on the tooltip. No, it's physical damage, chat. And it can't be dodged. And you're not behind the target. No, you guys are wrong. It's not, you're not behind the target, and it's physical damage, but it still goes through evasion. Somehow. Are you 100% sure? That's what Palumor told me. Unless you think Palumor's a liar. It says you appear behind your target only if stealthed. Only if stealthed. But I'm saying even without stealth. Just hitting Shadow Strike. Apparently, it can't miss. Hold on. Does Shadow Strike hit through evasion? Apparently it does. And you don't go behind them. And it's full physical, and it hits through evasion. Did you guys know that? I just learned that. Oh, here, let's do this guy. Pop evasion. So I'm gonna be in front of him. Evasion, dance. Wait, does it not go through? It does go through. Wait. Yeah, it does go through. Why? How? Why? I never knew that until like yesterday. So raise your hand if you didn't know that. Come on, be honest. Okay, so look, backstab, this is gonna dodge every time. But if I dance, Shadow Strike, it hits through evasion. Not my auto swings, but the Shadow Strike. Now, how does that make sense? Okay, here's my point. My point is, it doesn't say on the tooltip anywhere. How would I have ever known? It doesn't say on the tooltip. It's physical damage. Why would it? I'm not behind him. Why would it go through evasion? But it does. Oh, you want to know what else is crazy? And you guys for sure know this one. Cheap Shot goes through evasion, right? You guys, raise your hand if you know that. Actually, how about this? Type 1 if you didn't know that. Type 1 if you didn't know Cheap Shot goes through evasion. It's not on the tooltip. So, how the hell would anyone know? Unless someone told you, I guess. But yeah, Cheap Shot goes through evasion. So if someone has evasion up, you can just Cheap Shot them. Does that mean Cheap Shot can't be dodged? That's correct. Cheap Shot lands always, no matter what. It wouldn't be worth to do? No, it is very worth to do. You Cheap Shot. Let's see it. Yeah. It's very worth to do. Because then you can stun them. And then all your shit hits. So if someone has evasion up, you just press Cheap Shot. But you can still Shadow Strike through evasion too. I didn't know that until like yesterday. Does the same apply to Blur? You can Cheap Shot through anything always. Yeah. Well, not anything. Like if someone's in an ice block, it's not going to work. But yeah, through Blur, you can Cheap Shot Blur. How do you make Omni CD for party bars after popping up? / Omni CD. Arenas, icons, no, position, uncheck display and active icons. Do you know if you Kyrian and Dance, you will debuff find weakness, but without dance to no find weakness? Yes, I did know that. It's also a bug. That's consistent among stealth abilities. Wait, so you're telling me every stealth ability hits through evasion? You can sap through evasion, you can cheap shot through evasion, and you can shadow strike through evasion. Wait. Oh, all stealth abilities can't miss. Is that what it is? Because you're coming from stealth? Getting back to my broader point. There's things in the game that are unspoken that most people know, but not everyone knows, but no one ever talks about because it's just assumed everyone knows. Or like it's just so, maybe it's not even assumed everyone knows, but it's just like, why, like no one talks about it. Another one, every high rated player does this, and I've told the stream like 100 times, but I'll tell you guys again because every time I tell the stream, there's someone in the chat that doesn't know. In PvP, you want your tab target bound to target nearest enemy player instead of target nearest enemy. What this is gonna do is not count pets and totems and random like random shit. Like if you're in 2v2, if you press tab, it'll target the guy closest to you. If you press tab again, it'll target the other guy. If you press tab again, it'll go back to the first guy. It's not gonna like distract you with all the other, like you're trying to like tab between like 14 different like pets and imps and like totems and shit. So that's another one that like no one talks about, but everyone does at high ratings, right? And that's like another one that's just like so like, you know, like no one talks about. Anyway, my point is, oh yeah, and if you want it to swap between PvE and PvP, you can get an add-on called Retab Binder. This add-on will basically swap between, and when you're in PvP combat, to target enemy players with tab only, and when you're in PvE combat, so like a raid or something, it'll still target PvE people. So like this add-on owns certain abilities. You don't have to face your target. Like when you're casting polymorph on a mage, you don't have to look at the guy you're casting polymorph on. Like someone in the chat the other day was asking me like, how do you spin your camera to always be looking at the target when you're casting spells? I'm like, you don't have to. I can cast a poly on this guy, right? But if I'm looking this way, I can still cast a poly on him. It doesn't matter which way I'm looking for certain spells. Fireball, I have to be looking. Fire Blast, I have to be looking. Counterspell, don't have to be looking. Type 1 in the chat if you didn't know that. Does anyone not know that? One. Oh my gosh, there's people that didn't know that. Okay. So, okay, we got to keep going with these tips then. If there's people that don't know this, we got to get the information out there. Okay, here's another one that I talked about like 20 minutes ago that I'll say again. To turn your character while casting, you can right click. So if I'm casting Fireball on this stag, I can right click and turn my character, and now I'm no longer looking at the stag. Inversely, if I'm trying to cast on the Dust Howler and he's moving, I can cast Fireball and move my character with right click without using A and D while casting. So you can turn your character with right click while casting. I know these are basic tips, but that's another, like, you know, you can turn your character. So you can kind of track the guy that you're attacking with right click instead of A and D. Types of DR. Man, that's actually a good one. All right, guys. There's a few types of diminishing returns in the game. You can get an add-on called Diminish or S Arena or Gladius to tell you. You have Disorients, Silences, Roots, Disarms, Stuns, and Incaps. And no one really cares about taunts in PvP. Okay. So in PvP, the big ones are Incaps, Disorients, Stuns, and Silences. Okay? Silences are things like Shadow Priest Silence. If you're playing with 2 Shadow Priests, the first silence is going to be 4 seconds. If you silence again, it'll be half. It'll be 2 seconds. If a third Shadow Priest comes out of nowhere, it'll be 1 second. If a 4th Shadow Priest comes out of nowhere, it will not work for 18 seconds until the diminishing return resets. Same thing with Disorients. This is things like Dragon's Breath, Blind, Fear, Psychic Scream, right? Silences and Stuns, like almost everyone knows of. Disorients and Incaps, people might be confused with these. So this is things like Sap, Polymorph, Paralysis. Repentance. Gouge. Hex. Scattershot. Trap. Oh yeah, Roar from a druid for some reason. Disorienting Roar. That's so weird. I feel like I should... Disorienting Roar to me should be a disorient. Oh, it's called Incap Roar? Oh, Incapitating Roar? Is it really? Okay. Oh yeah, Warlock Death Coil. That's a weird one. Chastise non-stun version is Incap. Okay, anyway, this is a pretty decent list of how it works. Okay. So, all of these have different categories. If you're using these abilities in sequence, they're gonna be on DR if you use them after each other. And it's just good to like know this. Anyway, type 1 in the chat if you learned something about diminishing returns and you didn't know that they were split into these like 4 main categories for PvP and that they were kind of split up like this. Okay, we have some ones. Yeah. I guess all of these break on damage except Death Coil. So yeah, maybe that is the odd one out, huh? And all of these break on damage too, though. Maybe a bit more damage, except Cyclone doesn't. Ring of Frost, that's a good one. A lot of people actually don't know this one. Ring of Frost is on the same DR as Polymorph. It's the same thing. Ring of Frost and Polymorph do the same DR. It's still an incap. So when people complain about Mage CC and they complain about Polymorph and Ring of Frost, it's like, dude, they're the same DR.